What's up, people of the internet? My name is Dabacab, and today we have new gameplay of draft footage between Richard Garfield and a competitor, so let's dive right in. So, Richard Garfield, the designer of Magic the Gathering and Artifact, with of course the help of Valve, recently sat down with IGN to play some Artifact and draft out a deck. So we've got the match and we're going to go over it here. And in this video, actually last time I put out one of these gameplay videos, I had a bunch of people in the comments saying I should pause the video from time to time and talk about the board state, which really surprised me because I feel like pausing the video is going to result in like a 30 or 45 minute video. But I mean, if you guys ask for it, I can do it. I kind of have a feeling that once you actually see the video with me pausing, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I regret what I've asked for. I didn't know what I was asking for. I don't want to watch a 45-minute video of this dumbass talking about Artifact. Please, I don't like Dabacab that much. So we'll give it a shot, but I think we're probably not gonna stick with it. We'll see. Okay, so here's the board. We have a mostly black deck with one green hero and one blue hero. The green hero is Magnus, the blue hero is Outworld Devourer. Looks like the middle board is sort of hotly contested. There's a lot of stuff going on. The right board, we've got the advantage because our black hero is going to get the kill. There's nothing we can cast, so I mean, we kind of have to pass. But unfortunately, Magnus is going to get shredded by this Viper. I mean, the Viper is just going to deal -1. The Viper's going to modify the Magnus with -1 attack every single combat, and he's slowly going to whittle the Magnus down until he has 0 attack. I actually think I have to do the math. It's going to be 4 damage, then 3, then 2, then 1. Actually, he will potentially kill the Viper, but it's going to put him at 0 attack. So once again, we have nothing to cast. This is the difficulty of running a tricolor deck. Sorry, I just woke up. Okay, so now we have trebuchets. And the question is, where do you put the trebuchets? I'm not going to pause this because it's not a super complicated question. And honestly, it's not a question that you can really safely predict in turn 1. It's kind of just sort of a shot in the dark. You can split up the trebuchets or you can double stack them. I think double stacking them is probably the better call. You can put the trebuchets in lane 3, which is the most like safe. It's the safest option because it's most likely you're going to win lane 3, so you're almost certainly going to take this tower. But in theory, it might be better to put them in another lane under the idea that if you put them in another lane, then you'll then that'll, since you're probably going to win lane 3, you need more help winning one of the other lanes. Okay, so I would pick one of these cloaks. Well, not one of these cloaks. I would pick the middle cloak. Whenever you have 2 duplicates on the secret shop and in your main item deck, you always want to take the item deck first because it helps thin out your item deck so you can find the items in your item deck that you want later on. Like, for example, if you've got Horn of the Alpha in your item deck and you buy the secret shop Traveler's Cloak, then later on when you really need Horn of the Alpha, you might find your own Traveler's Cloak, which is not what you want. So you want to buy those as soon as possible. Okay, so Sniper. Where are we going to put Sniper? I'd say just right off the bat, the obvious option is lane 2 because we're losing a hero in lane 2 this turn. But it's worth mentioning that we do have Astral Imprisonment that could potentially save our hero there. However, if they put their Venomancer in mid lane, then he could just die to a tower barrage. So all that being said, I think the best course of action is to sorry, just woke up. Just to put him in the mid lane. Though you might also want to consider putting him in the left lane to help put some pressure on Viper so that your Magnus doesn't get shredded. But personally, I think I'd probably put him in the mid lane. The other question is, where's the enemy Venomancer coming down? And my guess is the enemy Venomancer would probably come down in probably in the left lane because he doesn't want to put him in the right lane because he's gonna. My guess is the enemy player is probably abandoning the right lane at this point. There's just no real reason to invest in it. He can just win the other 2 lanes, and yeah, and Magnus is already winning the mid lane, so it makes sense to put Venomancer in the first lane. Okay, so let's talk about our options right here. We can't. The only options are Traveler's Cloak, a Gloaty Vandal, and Empower. Personally, right off the bat, I would probably be most inclined to play Empower on Magnus because that will, first of all, kill Viper, and we know that the opponent didn't pick up any items, so we can't get, you know, leather armor or Traveler's Cloak or anything like that on the Viper to save him from his damage. It's possible you could play a spell, you know, like Rubemusk Blessing or something like that, but items are the easiest counters to damage, and we know he doesn't have any items because he doesn't have any gold cards. So Empower will take out the Viper. It will deal 3 damage to the Venomancer, put him at half health, and it will be easier for the Magnus to start tearing through the Plague Wards that this Venomancer is going to start spawning later on throughout the game. Also, it really makes sense to get your modifications out as early as possible so you can start getting value on them. The other option is to play a Gloaty Vandal, and the Gloaty Vandal is going to come out in front of the Venomancer. Personally, I don't like this idea because the Gloaty Vandal isn't going to get any siege damage in. I mean, he's going to like get his battle cry damage in where he just throws the rock at the tower, but he's not going to be hitting the tower every turn. So, plus the Venomancer is going to kill the Gloaty Vandal with the 2 attacks. So I don't agree with the Gloaty Vandal play. I think he should empower the Magnus so you get cleave on all 3 things. And because Magnus is pretty brawly, so you're most likely to get a lot of value out of him. And then save the Traveler's Cloak because you just don't need the Traveler's Cloak out right now. Let's see what he does though. I have watched this match before, but it was yesterday, so I don't exactly remember how things went. Vaguely. So we'll see if my prediction is right. I think he actually plays the Gloaty, which I think is a pretty big mistake. See if... Here's the thing. If he plays the Gloaty, then it's going to be this turn, the Gloaty hits Venomancer, and then the Venomancer hits the Gloaty, and they die. Versus if he plays the Empower, then next turn, the Venomancer is going to spawn the Plague Ward in front of either Magnus or Sniper. And if it spawns in front of Magnus, 50% chance, then that's going to allow Magnus to cleave into Venomancer a second time. 3 damage cleave plus 3 damage cleave, which is going to kill off the Venomancer. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind about Plague Wards is that they deal damage to you before you get to act. So that actually kind of makes them kind of powerful, because you can actually lock down a player or a hero for an extra turn. Because what happens is the camera comes to the lane, the Plague Wards instantly kill off a hero. That hero dies. That hero doesn't get to do anything. They don't get to attack, they don't get to cast spells. Then next turn they're on cooldown. So that's basically 2 turns that they're on, not able to do anything. Okay, so basically 3 options. Traveler's Cloak, or Astral Imprison your own hero, or Astral Imprison the opponent's hero. I think that we're probably better off just cloaking, because Astral Imprisonment can be pretty good against green, since green likes to cast buffs on creatures, on units. So the ideal, I think, is the opponent player plays something on Magnus, like Steel Strength, for example, and then you Astral Imprisonment to completely, eliminate that player's that player's card. Also, let me pause right here. Also, 4 mana is a really big turn for green. It's a really big turn just in general in the game, but especially for green. So I think it probably would have been possibly a good idea to play Astral Imprisonment on Magnus, because he had initiative, and that would have stunned the green hero, making them unable to cast any spells, and that would have prevented him from getting at a really valuable turn where he could have Empowered or Satyr Duelist or Celemene's Favor. There's just a ton of really strong green cards. So I think it probably would have been worth it to waste the mana to play Astral Imprisonment, and it turns out, unfortunately, that would have been, I think, probably the right play, because he just developed Satyr Duels on turn 4, which obviously is a really high pressure play, which is going to be hard to deal with. So it's going to be tough to get rid of that Satyr Duelist. And then lane 3 is in a pretty strong position. I think for the most part, you just leave it to its own devices and let Bloodseeker slowly whittle away at the tower. Because, I mean, the great thing about Bloodseeker, he's going to constantly heal himself off of these creep. So, he's going to be pretty strong unless they put something pretty big here, like a hero. The Bloodseeker is never going to get significantly hurt, really. So, yeah, I mean, nothing to do, just pass. Man, Bloodseeker's Premier card kind of sucks. It really is not that good. Alright, so the Furline Mantle, yeah, I'd probably pick that. Especially against a blue deck. Those high damage spells are going to come out. Make people damn near invincible. So I would pick up the Furline Mantle. Give you a bit more survivability against those spells. And then that's that. We spent all our gold. The opponent has amassed a total of 3 gold. God, lane 1, we're feeling pretty vulnerable. So I'm thinking, alright, let's talk about this. The opponent has 2 Skywrath Mages coming down. Probably not going into lane 3. My guess is they're going to split them up between lane 1 and 2. So lane 1 is looking intense at the moment. There's 3 Plague Wards in it. There's the Venomancer, the Viper. Our guys there are all really low health. The Sniper's about to go down to 2 health from the Plague Ward, who's probably, actually not necessarily, because I guess the creep could spawn in front of the Plague Ward, so the Plague Ward could hit the creep. Overall, just lane 1 is looking pretty rough. I think what I would probably do is play the Winter Wyvern in lane 2 and start hoping that I could win lane 2 and lane 3. And if Winter Wyvern spawns in front of the melee creep in lane 2, you could always teleport her over in front of the Satyr Duelist and kill that thing. Or if the Skywrath Mage spawns in that lane, you could teleport in front of the Skywrath Mage. So you have tons of options. But in general, lane 1's looking a little bit rough. So personally, I think I'd probably leave lane 1 with the expectation that Skywrath Mage is going to drop there, that all our heroes are such low health, and just start focusing on trying to win lanes 2 and 3. We have to be really worried about that, the potential for 2 Skywrath Mages in the same lane, which would basically double up the -4 block, which would suck. But I mean, yeah, we do have the cloak, and we have Astral Imprisonment as a potential out, so he could like do the armor shredding ability on you, and then make you really vulnerable, and then you could Astral Imprison the thing that's either killing you or yourself, so you can survive the round. So there's a lot of options. Alright, so we got lucky that the Plague Wards split up their damage, and they didn't both go onto Sniper and kill the Sniper right off the bat. So the question is, what do we play here? We could develop the Empower. Let's think about this. We could develop the Empower, which would be probably the most efficient play. If you develop Magnus, that would kill, I mean, honestly, Magnus or Sniper would kill both the heroes. If you develop Sniper, you're going to get 2 damage into the Plague Ward, which isn't really going to matter because the Plague Ward's going to survive. Oh no, it does 3, so it'll kill the Plague Ward. So maybe developing it on Sniper would be the better call. You could play a Gloaty Vandal, but since the lane is so wide, I think you're probably better off with Empower. I'd also want to consider Furline Mantle on something right off the bat, just because, I mean, you're up against blue, so you always have to be worried about surprise damage. And playing Furline Mantle first will let you most likely survive whatever's coming. We don't want to Blood Rage or anything, really, because there's 2 heroes, so we don't know what color mana they care about. So we don't care about the silence, and we don't need the extra attack. So personally, what I think I would probably do is Furline Mantle the Magnus or the Sniper, depending on how I'm feeling. And then after that, empower whichever hero I mantled so that they could kill. I guess you have to worry about if you expect direct damage to come through, then you want to mantle the Magnus. If you don't expect direct damage to come through, you want to mantle the Sniper, I think. And yeah, I wouldn't Vandal. The only thing Vandal's going to do is just kill one of the Plague Wards, but Empower would do that just as easily. Would do the exact same thing. Alright, not a bad call. It's just order of operation matters. That's why. Alright, at this point, lane 1 is pretty much a lost cause. It turns out we wasted our trebuchets. It's going to take them a while. A while to whittle down that tower, so it's just not going to happen. So we're better off trying to focus on lanes 2 and 3. So this lane, we have to ask ourselves, what's the play? Do we move the not Crystal Maiden, the Winter Wyvern in front of the Skywrath Mage, or in front of the Satyr Duelist, or just leave him there? Do we Astral Imprison anything? I think I would probably... What would I do? I think I would probably move the Winter Wyvern in front of the Satyr Duelist and then play the Aggloti Vandal in front of the Skywrath Mage, is what I think I would do. And you could Furline Mantle the Outworld Devourer also, which would allow him to survive the Magnus and then kill the Magnus. So I think that's probably what I would do. We want to try and get rid of those heroes, that Skywrath Mage, because I mean, they got all the heroes on the board, and killing Magnus and killing Skywrath Mage would give us a lot of power in this lane. So I think that'd probably be the best call. Instead, he is imprisoning the Skywrath Mage, which means Skywrath Mage isn't going to do anything this turn. He's going to be stunned. He's going to be disarmed. No, he's going to be stunned. He's going to have damage immunity. So we got the cloak come out on Magnus. Oh yeah, that's right. The Outward Devourer already has a cloak on him, so playing the Furline Mantle would kind of waste that. Oh well, not a big deal. We could, yeah, I'd say probably move the Winter Wyvern over, see if we can kill off that Satyr Duelist. Let me see. Do we want to cloak him? It might be a good call because this Satyr Duelist is going to hurt pretty hard. So the Satyr Duelist is going down, assuming nothing changes. Never mind, Rebel Decoy. It looks like the Rebel Decoy is going down. See, last turn I said maybe we should consider astral imprisonmenting the Magnus, because that would waste his turn 4 mana, and that would mean that this is a much stronger turn for us, because Skywrath Mage wouldn't be stunned, but who cares that he wouldn't be stunned, because the only thing on the board would be the Magnus, the Skywrath Mage, and the melee creep, and he would probably develop the Satyr Duelist, which would only have 3 attack, and he wouldn't be able to teleport him out of the way. So I'm really surprised the opponent put Skywrath Mage in lane 3. I'm not really sure why he did that. So we could Blood Rage. Yeah, I think I'd probably Blood Rage one of these creep under the hope that the creep kills the Skywrath Mage. And if they play a blue spell to kill the melee creep, it's not a big deal. I don't think that I would Aggloti, because we're okay. See, I don't think that's a good call, because unless we kill the Skywrath Mage this turn, there's a good chance that next turn they're going to cast one of their blue's really big blue. Blue has a bunch of really powerful 6 mana spells. And if we don't kill the Skywrath Mage this turn, then I think there's a really good chance that next turn Skywrath Mage is going to destroy this lane. So I think going wide is not really the answer. I think the answer is killing a Skywrath Mage as soon as possible, and Blood Rage would have done that. Kind of unfortunate that we didn't have something land in front of the Bloodseeker for the free creep kill. Actually, if he hadn't played a Gloaty, it would have been a free creep kill, which would have helped him secure the lane. We're hitting the tower for 7, but the tower's still so healthy that 7 damage isn't really going to matter. I think I probably would have gotten a creep kill at this point. I do not agree with Richard Garfield's Aglotti plays. I think he's playing the Aglotti Vandals kind of unnecessarily. It's kind of wrapping up his mana on plays that aren't super meaningful. So there's nothing we can buy, and we have no heroes coming out. So honestly, this is going to be a rough turn for us. This is like kind of game losing territory right now, because lane 1 is being stomped. Lane 2 is in a rough position, and lane 3 we're just about even. And yeah, there's nothing we can do in this lane, so just pass. The one thing we have going for us is that they have 2 heroes locked in this lane. So they're a little overinvested in this lane, to be honest. Blink Dagger, never mind. That's gonna pull out the Venomancer so we can move him to another lane. Where would he move them to? My guess is just probably lane 2, because he's got a strong position there, so that will allow him to win lane 2. And I'd be surprised if he invests in lane 3. He just doesn't really need to. So my guess is we're going to see him blink over. That's what I would do. Blink over to lane 2. Win lane 1, win lane 2. Easy. Down portal scroll. Okay, so he's pulling out all of his heroes from lane 1, which sucks for us. Because the only good thing about losing a lane is that afterwards they're overinvested in the lane because they have a hero there. And I can't believe he pulled out both of his heroes in draft. That's really lucky. I don't think that's going to happen most of the time. So honestly, he plays So Venom. I don't think that's a good call, because the So Venom, the Plague Wards do such little tower damage, which is 1 per, and they're really better at destroying units. So I think that's kind of a waste of a card. He doesn't really need that +2 tower damage at all. So I think I would have been content just... Like, the thing is, the +2 damage is better than not having +2 damage, but it's not going to accelerate. It's still going to take 3 turns to destroy the tower. So I don't really understand the point of that. Okay, let's figure out what our options are. Winter Wyvern does not have his ability. We could Sister of the Veil, but unfortunately it won't actually kill anything. And we could Blood Rage, but that doesn't really make a difference. The only thing we could Blood Rage of significance would be our melee creep to kill their melee creep, which is kind of a waste. We could Blood Rage their Magnus to lock up their green mana, but then we're taking tower damage to the face. So I think actually probably the only half decent play, and even then it's a super weak play, is to play Sister of the Veil in front of Skywrath Mage, and then point him over to the Satyr Duelist, so that she can kill the Satyr Duelist over 2 turns. But even then, that's a weak play. Alternatively, just put Sister of the Veil in front of Skywrath Mage and kill Skywrath Mage over 2 turns. Or in front of Magnus and kill Magnus over 2 turns. Unless Magnus empowers, which seems kind of likely, because we haven't seen a single Empower come down yet. So I think playing Empower or playing Sister of the Veil in front of Magnus would probably not be a good call. Overall, this is a really weak turn for Richard Garfield. Losing 3 heroes kind of sucked. Letting the Magnus use his turn 4 mana to play the Satyr Duelist really sucked. So this is looking rough for us, to be honest. Mystic Flare came down. Remember what I said about blue having a lot of powerful turn 6 spells? There we go. Powerful turn 6 spell. One shots are Winter Wyvern, and now we have one hero on the board, man. One hero. The opposing player might want to consider shredding the armor of these 2 units, because that would allow him to just wipe the board, which is kind of tempting. It'll be just enough. In fact, I'd be kind of surprised if he didn't. He's dominating this lane so thoroughly that he just... Plus Viper's probably going to come down to mid lane next turn anyway. So you might as well give yourself the strongest position possible. So I think that's probably what I would do. God, he is in a tough spot. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how he's going to come out of this one. Now the question is, are we going to see Mystic Flare in lane 3? We've got 6 blue mana to play with. I guess probably likely. If he plays Mystic Flare on the Bloodseeker, then it would kill the Bloodseeker. The thing is, does the enemy player even want to kill the Bloodseeker? I think the answer is no. I think his better bet is to just leave the Bloodseeker here in his lane, because all he has to do is win the mid lane to win the game, and Bloodseeker being stuck here doesn't help Richard Garfield win the middle lane. So I think that's probably the best call. Just like, don't Mystic Flare. I don't even know why he put a Skywrath Mage here in the first place. It's kind of unnecessary. Skywrath Mage is going down. No, there's a Mystic Flare. It's going to kill the 2 creep, which is going to slow him down. So I guess that kind of makes sense. It's going to make it less likely that Richard Garfield is going to destroy the tower now. But since this is still going to be his first tower, if he even does destroy it, it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't really have to... The opposing player doesn't really have to worry about losing lane 1, because he's dealing 4 damage a turn, but with 24 health, it's going to take 6 turns for him to kill that tower. So there's no way he's going to lose the first lane. Okay, let's figure out where we're going to place this stuff. To be honest, I don't think it's much of a decision. I think you just place all 3 in mid lane. Done. Easy. Because mid lane is the only lane that really matters at the moment. However, actually, I take that back. You want to take this... You'd actually want to consider putting the sniper in lane 1, because that allows you to use lane 1's mana to cast Assassinate into lane 2, which is kind of important because... Oh man, I'm so tired. I've been packing. I'm moving next week, so I haven't been getting enough sleep. I'm packing the basement, packing the kitchen tomorrow. I'm fucking exhausted. Yeah, so you don't want to use... You can't really win lane 2 with just lane 2's mana. So the idea is you play a sniper in lane 1, and then assassinate over and kill some very critical unit. The question is, who do we kill? We can kill Skywrath Mage, Magnus, Venomancer are the most obvious targets. So in this lane, you could also use Sniper's ability to kill probably the Plague Ward on his right, because if you don't do that, then the Plague Ward is... Okay, hold on. Let's figure out this Assassinate. I think Magnus, just because it'll lock up his green mana, even though more than likely we're going to see a blue spell come down anyways, so that wouldn't really make much of a difference. That'll spare 6 tower damage, which will put us out of lethal. Yeah, I agree with that play. So in lane 1, if you don't kill the Plague Ward on the right, well, he is empowered, so it kind of won't make a difference. So this is going to allow him to do tower damage, siege damage, but next turn the Plague Ward's going to kill him. So I don't think that was a really good call, to be honest. He wanted to make sure he got both those Plague Wards. Yep. See, like I said, blue spell. When you got when you have two heroes on the enemy deck, you can pretty much always assume that they have that duplicate hero's premier card because you got 6 in the deck, and so he could have very reasonably expected not Plague Ward, could have reasonably expected Mystic Flare, but honestly, there wasn't much he could do about it. So looks like we just lost the game. I don't know if there's anything we can do. That's not going to cut it. God, that's Satyr Duelist. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, we got a stun come out. Alright, so this is kind of... There's no way to recover, man. There's no way to recover. We can play Winter Wyvern in lane 1. Lane 1's been a lost cause for the past like 3 or 4 turns. There's no way he can come back for this, I don't think. None of these items are going to make a difference in securing lane 1, which is what he has to do to survive. Though I guess you take Blade of the Vigil just because it's the cheapest way to get a Bloodseeker out of the stun, but I don't think we're gonna make it over to lane 3 anyways. Well, we have 2 creep coming down in lane 1, which is really nice because it maximizes the chances we're gonna survive just another turn or 2. So best case scenario is we're somehow able to survive turn 1. Trebuchet damage goes through. Lane 2 doesn't matter. Lane 3 we somehow find a way to kill the Viper and get in some siege damage, and then we win lanes 1 and 3. But I really don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I think you gotta play Winter Wyvern in lane 1. We've got Dimensional Portal, which would be really nice to play, but unfortunately we don't have Outworld Devourer. Like I said, one of the problems with playing a 3-color deck, it's real hard to play the spells where you need them. Oh man, he really should have killed that Plague Ward. Now he's screwed, I think. See, like I said, lane 1's been a lost cause for so long. There's nothing he can do. He could teleport the Winter Wyvern in front of the Skywrath Mage, which will spare him 1 damage, which won't be enough. Trebuchet doesn't matter. Blade of the Vigil, none of these items matter. Blood Rage doesn't matter. It's just too late. It's too late. Now it's the end of the video. I really think playing that Agglody Vandal in this lane really early on turn 4 was the critical mistake that lost in this lane. He should have played Empower on one of the heroes. Alright, anyways, let me know what you think about this video. Sorry about being so tired. I have not been getting enough sleep because of the packing. And let me know about what you thought about pausing the video. Did you like that? I'll have to edit this video. My guess is going to be like 30 or 45 minutes long. So I'd be surprised if you guys actually like that type of content. But, you know, maybe you do. Maybe I'm wrong. So let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Dabacab out.